Hello, everyone, and welcome to Big Sam's Long Balls podcast with me, Dan. Now, today I'm going to do a little series where I try to build the strongest 11 for a number of teams in the Premier League and potentially out worldwide. And today we're going to be starting with my team, Liverpool. But before we start, I just want to say that this is a very, very small channel. So any support that you guys have given so far, fully appreciate it. I know this is a really, really small channel and it's incredibly difficult to get a YouTube series off and running. And I just do this, just as a bit of a hobby, just as a bit of a laugh, for a bit of fun when I'm not working. But I do want to do this a little bit more full time, have like a proper fun footballing channel for people. So what I'm going to ask people is, obviously, if you stumble across these videos, if you like them, please give it a like, definitely comment down below and subscribe. All of that would be amazing, like genuinely incredible. But what I wanted to say to people is, if you want to come on to the podcast, you can have a discussion with me or with Chris, as and when sort of Chris is on the channel. He isn't always on. Then I would absolutely love that. This isn't a fan channel. I'm a Liverpool fan. Chris is an Arsenal fan, obviously, when he's here. But we want to do just a footballing channel just for all football teams. So if you're a Tottenham fan, a Chelsea fan, a United fan, or if you support a team in the Championship, League One, League Two, wherever, I'd absolutely love it for you guys to come on. You can have a chat with me if you want. Equally, if you just wanted to maybe upload a video talking about your own club, but you don't quite have time to sort of run your own YouTube channel and do all of that because it is very time consuming, then message me down below or send me a private message or whatever. You can send me your videos in and I will certainly play them. Like I said, this is a very, very, very small YouTube channel, so I couldn't sort of pay you. It'd just be for a bit of fun. But if this channel did take off one day, which would be really, really nice, I'd be happy to pay anyone who comes on to this channel to talk anything football related. So yeah, if you're interested in that, then definitely sort of message me down below or private message me. But anyway, let's get back to the video in hand. So I'm going to see if I can try and build the strongest Liverpool starting 11. What I think will be Klopp's go-to 11 come the end of the season. Like, hypothetical situation, this is the Champions League final. So I'm using a website called buildlineup.com. Never used it before. I'm not advertising it. Certainly not. Just checked it out. It seems pretty cool. Seems pretty basic. So, if you want to do any videos similar to this, then, and you don't have any sort of editing software like I unfortunately don't at this current moment in time, seems to be a really cool basic website that you can sort of build up your own football team. So we're going to go with 4-3-3 because that is Jurgen Klopp's go-to formation. Now, I've left sort of Alisson, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk and Robbo because I do believe that is Jurgen Klopp's strongest back five. The only sort of considerations I would really make towards that is potentially taking Matip out and putting Konate in, although personally I feel that Matip is a better defender. But also left back, for years and years now, we have been bigging up how good the fullbacks have been at Liverpool, and rightfully so. But I do think there is a case to be made that maybe Kostas Tsimikas is kind of catching up with Andy Robertson. There's no doubt that Robertson is probably still Liverpool's number one fullback. He's an incredible player. Defensively, I certainly think he's better than Tsimikas, and up and down the pitch, he's probably better. But in those tight games, in those games where one-touch football is essential, and certainly up against low-block teams, I think that there is a case for Tsimikas to come in more. I think he's technically a more gifted player than Robertson, but Robertson is probably still the better footballer at this moment of time. Obviously, Fabinho starts. He's our out-and-out defensive midfielder, and Thiago. I mean, did anyone else watch that Community Shield final? I know it's only a friendly. I know you shouldn't get too excited about it. I get all of that, but my God, what a footballer Thiago is! He's just incredible. I think those two are the strongest Liverpool midfielders have by far. And I've left this one blank because I'd imagine Jordan Henderson would be playing there more often than not. But is that going to be Liverpool's strongest 11 going forward? Personally, I don't think so, but we'll get to that into a minute. Luis Diaz on the left-hand side, Mo Salah on the right, I'd imagine would be the formation more often than not. You can see Diaz potentially coming out and maybe a Jota when Jota's fit and on form, maybe coming in, can play on the left, can play through the middle, but also the youngster Carvalho, who we've just bought from Fulham. I think the idea is that one day he'll be playing in one of these two positions. But for this season, I'd imagine he would come in on cup games, start on the left, maybe play on the right as well. He can also play the false nine role, but I do believe going forward it will be Diaz and Salah on the wings. On Diaz, what I would say is, because we know how good Mo Salah is, we he's what, a 6-season wonder at this point. He best player in the world, in my humble opinion. Diaz, he's going to have a really, really big season and a tough season as well, because he is the one who's replacing Sadio Mane. I know a lot of talk has been about Darwin Núñez coming in and replacing Mane. This is the guy. This is the guy who's replacing Mane. And we see how good he is 1v1 out on that left wing. I think as a winger, he's certainly better than Mane at this current period in time. I don't think Mane out on the wing was working anymore. He seemed to have lost sort of just a little bit of pace and that trickery, and he'd moved to like a false nine role in his final few months at Liverpool, and he was incredible in that position. So in terms of sort of running at fullbacks 1v1, I think Luis Diaz is going to be incredible. I think he's one of the best in the league already at doing it, but it's his decision making, which is going to be really, really, really important this season. You know, trying to replace Sadio Mane, you're going to be looking at goals and assists, and he is clinical in this area of the pitch, Sadio Mane, and it's probably where Diaz is coming up a little bit short at the moment. He came in back in January. He looked brilliant, full of energy, really exciting, a little bit frustrating in the final third. And we all kind of said, let's see what he's like in pre-season. Give a pre-season, a Jurgen Klopp pre-season. He's a brilliant player, but there's been no goals this pre-season from Diaz. I don't think there's been an assist either. I'm not sure about that, but definitely no goals. Look, it's pre-season. Iago Aspas joined here nearly 10 years ago, scored 4 or 5 goals in pre-season. You know, we thought he was going to replace Luis Suarez. He was fucking shocking for Liverpool. I don't think he scored a goal in the Premier League season. So pre-season doesn't matter. But what we've seen, and I'll go back to the Community Shield game the other day against Manchester City, he was brilliant. He was absolutely sensational. He was a 9 out of 10 for so much of what he was doing. Energy, he was so direct. He caused Kyle Walker problem after problem after problem. I rate Kyle Walker as one of the best fullbacks in world football. You know, it's very, very difficult to get the upper hand against him because he's so strong. He's so quick. He's such a force. A, getting the ball past him, but then B, you've got to track back and defend because he's so good going forward. I thought Diaz caused Walker so many problems, and Walker never got forward ever in that game because of this guy. He's that good. However, the problem was once he got past Walker or got past Diaz or Rodri or whoever, that final third, that shot on goal, the final pass, it was quite poor. And I think one of the reasons for it is Diaz is all or nothing. 100-mile-an-hour player, which is really great, which is really exciting. But when he gets into these areas, I think he just needs to slow down and just make the simple decisions because he's going so quick and he's so just, you know, I don't know that I can't think of the word, but you know when you're just so focused and you're going at, like, you know, it feels like you're going 100 mile an hour. You can't sort of make the simple decisions, and that's what it's like watching him. He's brilliant up until this area, and then he seems to turn into Bambi on ice, which is a bit frustrating. But he's going to have to up his game, Diaz. With that, I feel very harsh saying that because I think he's a brilliant player. But to replace Sadio Mane, we're going to need a player who's more clinical than what we're seeing at the moment. Otherwise, it's going to end up with too much pressure on this guy. And then up top, of course, we do have quite a few options. We do have Roberto Fimino, which looks like it could be his last season at Liverpool, you know, his swan song. So hopefully it'll be like a really good season for him. If Firmino was playing, he'd probably be more in this position, the false nine. Diogo Jota, which we know can play there. We know he scores goals. Today, in fact, it's been confirmed that he signed a 2-year deal up until 2027 at Liverpool. So 5 more years of Diogo Jota, which is absolutely brilliant. He's a fantastic player. And then, of course, the big money signing, the real excitement, the main man, Darwin Núñez. So I think these are the 2 positions that are up for grabs in this Liverpool team. The third position in our midfield, that number 8, that box-to-box role, and that number 9 position. Now let's talk about the midfield position first. Like I said, I think Fabinho and Thiago, they will be the mainstays in this. Fabinho is the defensive midfielder. You know, he breaks up play, keeps things very simple. These 2 will split apart and he will slot in here. Brilliant player. Thiago, you know, he was heavily criticised when he first arrived. I didn't get it. And I'm so glad that he's proving everyone wrong. I think he's easily our best midfielder at the moment. I'd say he's our most talented player in the whole squad, which is, you know, looking around, you've got Van Dijk, Thiago, Salah, Diaz, you know, to even say that is quite a bold claim, but he's a sensational player, Thiago. But what we need here, I think we're lacking in midfield at the moment, not necessarily in numbers. We've got a lot of options. Like I said, we've got Thiago, we've got Fabinho, we've got Henderson, who'd usually play here. Milner can also fill in. We've also got some very exciting young players, Harvey Elliot, Curtis Jones. We've also got Naby Keita, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. There are a few more younger players. There's no point in saying Liverpool have got no options in midfield, but I do think it is our weakest area. Trent, we've got cover now with Ramsey. Milner can also come in. In goal, we've got Ali, we've got Adrian, who, I know not everyone likes, but I thought he was really good against Man City, to be fair. We've also got Kelleher, who will be our number 2 anyway. Van Dijk and Matip. We've got Joe Gomez, we've got Konate, we've got Shimikas replacing Robbo, and up top, like I said, we do have a lot of attacking options. So midfield, although we've got numbers, it's about picking the right players. And I know that Liverpool are heavily interested in Jude Bellingham. I mean, who wouldn't be? This guy looks like he's going to be the next big thing. There are some rumours that Liverpool are favourites for him. I don't think anyone properly serious has said that. I know it's like these ITKs, he's in the nose, he just end up being total bollocks. But spread a fake rumour and everyone gets excited about it, myself included. I know it's complete nonsense, but I convinced myself that it's happening. So in an ideal world, Jude Bellingham would be this number 8, which would be exciting. But obviously that's not going to happen. Certainly this season, hopefully next season it will. At the moment, you would sort of say Jordan Henderson would be that role. Going forward, is that the strongest option? I personally think no. I'm a big fan of Jordan Henderson, so I don't want anyone to think that I just think he's a rubbish player, overrated. I actually think he's incredibly underrated. But I do want to see Henderson more in this position this season, actually rotating in and out with Fabinho. We've obviously got the 5 sub rules coming in for this season, which I think will suit Liverpool really, massively, along with teams like Manchester City, of course, the teams with the bigger squads. But we need to make the most of it, and I do think Henderson's workload needs to be reduced if we want him to continue playing at such a high level. So I would have Henderson here. I think that's his best position. He can rotate in and out with Fabinho. I just don't think the number 8 suits him. I thought he really struggled there at times last season. Against Man City the other day, he was, arguably one of our, candidates for man of the match. He was brilliant. But can he maintain that all season, that energy? I don't think so. But also, I think we need more goals because, like I said, we're going to get goals, we're going to get assists from this guy, we're going to get assists from this guy, and he's going to dominate. But it's going to be really, really difficult at times this season because if Diaz struggles or is inconsistent in front of goal, which he can be, it's going to put more and more pressure on this guy and whoever starts up front, whether it be Firmino, who isn't renowned for necessarily being the most ruthless goal scorer in world football, whether it's the new boy Darwin Núñez, who's going to have a lot of pressure on his shoulders, or Diogo Jota returning from injury. I think we need more goals from this midfield area. Thiago doesn't get you goals. For as good as he is, he's not a goal scorer. Fabinho pops up with 1 or 2, which is fantastic. But again, it's not his job. We do need goals from midfield. And the frustrating thing is, I think we've got it. I think we've actually got arguably the best player for the role in this position. And if everyone was fit, I would go Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. Like genuinely, I think this guy would suit this team down to the ground. I think when he's fit and at his best, imagine Oxlade-Chamberlain. I was going to point with my finger then, but you can't obviously see my hand. Hopefully you'll be able to see my mouse cursor after all this. But imagine Oxlade-Chamberlain, breaking through the lines, overlapping Salah, shooting from distance, box to box, pressing energy. That's what he's so good at. Unfortunately, I can't even count Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain as a midfield option anymore. His injury problems, we all know about, is so bad. He just got injured recently in pre-season. Looks like he's not even going to start playing again until about October, November time. And then by the time he catches up, we're going to be right near the end of the season, and it's just going to feel like another season wasted. It's his last season at Liverpool. It does feel like it's really come to the end for Oxlade-Chamberlain, unfortunately. But to be fair, even when he's been fit, like the past few seasons, Jurgen Klopp hasn't really seemed to go for him for whatever reason. Harvey Elliot is a fantastic young talent. I would love to see more of Harvey Elliot. Curtis Jones is another one. I don't know with Jones. I don't know how you guys think about him. He frustrates the hell out of me. I think he's got so much talent, whether he plays on this position on the right or the left, whether he plays out here. I think he's got goals. I think he's got assists in him. He's very neat and tidy. You watch him, he very rarely gives the ball away. He looks very comfortable, but he plays at a slower pace. He does dally on the ball. And I just feel like, he's not old, of course he's not. He's only, I believe 20, 21. So hopefully his time will come. But I do watch him at the moment. I think I have not seen a development in at least 2 seasons. And it is a bit of a worry. And I'm looking at Carvalho, who's come in. I know this season we're going to play him probably in attack, but I think there could be an option to play him here. I think Harvey Elliott's got a real shout. Obviously, he started this position last season. And personally, I think our strongest team would involve Harvey Elliott. I rate this kid very, very highly. But actually, I think it's going to be, see if it comes up, Naby Keita. I think Naby, to be fair, plays better when he's in this position, which is obviously Thiago's position. I don't really know if there's too much of a difference, to be honest, but I do think that is what probably Jurgen Klopp would more likely go with. And although I rate Harvey Elliott incredibly highly, and I really, really do, I think he's a wonderful talent. There's no disputing that the ability with this midfield is incredible. My only worry with this is a little bit with Naby Keita. I think he plays in front of the opposition an awful lot. However, the reason why I'm going to pick Naby Keita is because I don't think our strongest lineup involves Firmino. I don't think it necessarily involves Diogo Jota anymore, although I'm a big fan of Jota. I think he's a brilliant player. I think he's going to be more rotation. It's going to be Darwin Núñez, and not necessarily, not just because of the price tag, but he's going to play on that shoulder, and I think it's going to suit this guy down to the ground. Naby Keita, when he gets that ball, one of his incredible abilities is he can beat the press. Right. So with Darwin Núñez, I keep trying to point with my hand at the screen, so it's really frustrating. Darwin Núñez will play on that shoulder. And I think once this guy gets the ball, Núñez will be off. And I know Jurgen Klopp has sort of mentioned that we need to pick the right moments, the right passes. And I think he will be perfect for that because Keita has got that ability to find the pass, to get Núñez into that space. He also has that ability to skip through 1, 2, potentially 3 of the opposition midfielders. Also, with Núñez playing on the shoulder, it gives an opportunity for Salah and Diaz, even more space for them. And out of all of our midfielders, I'd say that this guy, Naby Keita, is probably the biggest goal threat that we've got, which I don't know how that makes some Liverpool fans feel because he doesn't necessarily score a lot, but he's certainly more of a goal threat than I think Henderson, than Jones, than Elliot at this moment in time. Hopefully with a little bit more time and a little bit more development, those 2 young players in particular will be able to pick up more goals and more assists. But that is the team that I think will be Liverpool's strongest starting 11 going forward. Now then, before I finish up this video, I do think there are other options. Just trying to look at this website. I'm going to go back to sort of create formation because I don't think we necessarily need, if it's going to work, it might not work. But I don't think we will necessarily have to play 4-3-3. And actually, it's just come up 4-4-2. I'm not going to go through the whole team just again. But how about if the same back 5, obviously with Ali, Van Dijk, Matip, Trent and Robbo. On the left, obviously we'll have probably a little bit further forward, Diaz up here, Salah up here, probably Thiago, Fabinho. You could also bring in Naby and Hendo with this. But I'd love to see a 4-4-2, 20 minutes to go when we need a goal, Champions League final up against Real Madrid. This would have been more of a goal threat. And you chuck on Núñez and Jota up top. It might not have the beautiful, sexiest build-up play, but I think it's got a lot of goals in there. I really want to see Jota and Núñez play up top together. I don't think it's going to happen very often under a Jurgen Klopp formation, but I think it would be really fun to see. I think there'll be so many goals. But yeah, Liverpool's strongest lineup, in my opinion, for this season coming forward, is going to be the 4-3-3, the same back 5 that it always is. Thiago, Fabinho, and Naby Keita in midfield. Salah on the right, Diaz on that left, and a new boy, Darwin Núñez up top. Now then, I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. Let me know down below what you think is going to be Liverpool's strongest formation and their strongest lineup going forward. And also let me know if you enjoy the video, any other teams that you want me to do for the next video. So I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give the video a like, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you very soon. So thanks a lot for watching.